we've been talking about a quarterback competition that Kyle Shanahan wouldn't acknowledge for weeks. Now we wonder, is it a full blown quarterback controversy? Yeah, what do you think?
Iggy, I think it's a full blown controversy. I mean, if you look at people who comment on your videos, and I look at people who comment on my Twitter account, they're equally divided, and it seems to be two camps uh, fighting it out over who should be the quarterback in game number one of the regular season. So I say that it's a full blown controversy, and there are many reasons for it. But one of the reasons is neither quarterback has seized the day.
That's what I think is so interesting. We've been focused the last few shows on, well, who's better? And we've had arguments. But I think now that we've seen both of them in two games, the answer may be that neither one looks particularly ready, whatever that is. I mean, if you got Jimmy Garoppolo throwing way too soft and looking skittish, you got Trey Lance throwing way too soft and looking a little nervous
No,
because it's
way
his
too hard.
yes, way too hard and looking a little nervous because it's his first time out there. It's like the Goldilocks syndrome.
It is the Goldilocks syndrome. One is too soft, one is too hard, and you want one right in the middle, and they don't have one yet.
Yeah, Trey Lance may be that in the future. I'm not sure that Jimmy Garoppolo ever will be. He's not trending that direction, but that's not the issue. The issue is this year, and there's a lot riding on this year. It's not like Robert Saleh on the Jets, who's in year one. And if they win 7 games this year, but do some promising things, he's in a great position. The Niners are in year 5. They gotta win. And when you have quarterbacks that look this shaky, is no guarantee. I mean, Lance looked good at the end of the second preseason game. It's also fair to say he was going against third and fourth stringers at that point. We haven't seen him look really great against starters yet, and we still haven't seen that from Jimmy Garoppolo either. So, what is this team really?
Iggy, let me ask you a point blank question. We have a bet. The bet is who's going to start,
Yes,
but that's different from who deserves to start.
yes,
We're betting who's gonna start.
yeah.
Do you think either of them is especially ready to start game number one?
No, not particularly. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo looks like he's lost 100% of his confidence. He seems like if you gave him the starting job, he'd give it away. But then Trey Lance is making rookie mistakes too. He's throwing 5 yard passes as hard as he can. He may not be the quarterback who can win for you either. They may be in a tough position, especially early in the season.
Well, let me say some of the things that I get on my Twitter. It's unfair to say those things about Trey Lance because he hasn't only played a couple of games in the last year. Do you buy that argument?
Um, that's fair. I mean, I understand where the Niners are. They have the most inexperienced quarterback. It's going to look like this. It's just, I think there's a little pressure on them. Not just because they have to win this year, but because the two quarterbacks who were taken after Lance both look terrific in training in preseason. Justin Fields plays the same style as Lance, looks more ready. And Mac Jones plays the same style as Jimmy Garoppolo, looks better than Jimmy Garoppolo. They could have had either one without trading up. They took Lance. So I think there's pressure on him to look good or not look like a total neophyte.
I would also say if the Niners are on the horns of a dilemma,
Yeah.
and if they're on the horns of a dilemma, they created the dilemma themselves. They held on to Jimmy, who really seems to be declining, and they went out and got Trey Lance. There
Yes.
were other people available.
Yeah.
So if one is declining and one isn't ready, and they're a little shaky and unsure for game number one in Detroit, they created that situation themselves. Now, look, we're not saying absolutely for sure neither one is ready for game number one. We're saying we think they got a problem. We could be proven wrong, and if we are, fine. But I never envisioned this problem a month ago.
Right. Of the top 5 quarterbacks from this draft, Lance looks the least ready. And then if you put Garoppolo in the same class as other quarterbacks around the league who are about to lose their high level backups, if you look at him as a high level backup, well, Mitchell Trubisky was available. He's with the Bills looking great in preseason. Jimmy Garoppolo isn't looking great. The Niners could have gone a lot of different directions here, gotten rid of Jimmy, not created a quarterback controversy, not split the fan base, not split the locker room, moved on, gotten probably a better backup who's much cheaper, And maybe they could have got a different quarter. I still like Trey Lance. I think he was the right guy, but they have a lot of pressure to prove it early because they got to win.
And they may not be able to prove it
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
If, well, again, he makes, let's be clear, Trey Lance makes extraordinary plays.
Yes.
He's really interesting and, in a way, awe-inspiring to watch.
Yes.
But then you see he throws a 5-yard pass and it's like 100 miles an hour. And you think they really have to work on this. They have to work on touch and stuff like that. So,
and the season starts in 3 weeks.
And the season starts in 3 weeks, and you wonder how. I don't know if you can teach touch in 3 weeks.
I don't think you can. And I think the situation the Niners in is, despite the fact that Trey Lance looks demonstrably not ready, he's probably the best quarterback on the team. Where does that leave him? I think, not to be doom and gloom, it's a run-first team. He's going to add to the running game. It should be a killer running game this year. And if he can throw some big plays off play action and not turn the ball over, he can be a winning quarterback. But it's a mystery. He hasn't done it yet. And it's a mystery. It's a scary place to be.
I want to say one other thing about stuff I get on Twitter. The Jimmy group is always saying it's just practice and it doesn't really matter, okay? And a lot of people from the Jimmy group send me that tired old video of Allen Iverson saying, guys, please don't send me that anymore. It's such a cliche.
Yeah.
And when I see it, it's like, I want to block you. Now, I haven't, but like, get your own material. And what Allen Iverson was saying, that he was so great he didn't need to practice, which, by the way, is not true, because it would help his teammates if he would have practiced. And you know what? Jimmy needs to practice, and he needs to prove himself in practice.
He needs to improve because he makes all the same mistakes. And I think what's funny is the Niners really tried to not make this a quarterback competition. They said it's not. They gave him all the first-team reps. They tried to take the pressure off of him, and all he did was play poorly. All he did was make it a quarterback competition. He made it a quarterback competition more than Lance did.
Right, and now it's a quarterback controversy. Which is exactly what you don't want going into the season.
Because worst case scenario for this year is both quarterbacks play poorly. And then let's say both quarterbacks play poorly, the Niners don't have a winning season, they miss the playoffs again. What does Jed York do then? You're looking at a team that's had all these losing seasons, and where's the hope for the future? Did Trey Lance look good, or did he look like a bust? Did Jimmy Garoppolo look good, or are you starting over again? They got a lot of stake.
If they don't have a winning season, all hell breaks loose. But that's way down the line. Well, let's just try to concentrate on Detroit and the first game, because we're going to learn a lot in that game. And I also want to say, I agree with you that Trey Lance is very gifted, and I think by mid-season, he'll be phenomenal. I think his running ability and the fact that they're going to be coaching him, even if he isn't the starter at first, I think he will be by the bye week. I do have a lot of confidence in him. So I'm really just focusing on game one and the early part of the season, which, by the way, really counts. And game ones mean a lot to a coaching staff.
I agree. And I just want to say that if the Niners go with Trey Lance, if they take a leap of faith, I do think he can be successful early on despite his inexperience. I remember what Russell Wilson looked like his rookie year. The first 8 games of his rookie year, he wasn't a very good quarterback, but he ran around a lot and made plays. And by the end of the season, he really improved. So maybe Trey Lance could do that. He could get by early on, running a lot, and then learn on the job. And by maybe the playoff time, he could be ready to actually be a winning quarterback.